You mean to return to the world where you are hailed as a hero.
What are your plans? We can have a rematch right now and here if you want to.
Hear me then. Not as a hero, but as simply you. As I learned in Alamigo, you are a formidable foe.
You see, that's exactly how I like Xenos to be. He is not a good villain, simply because he's not villainous. Well, he is if you put him in a position of power that over a force that naturally stands against us, as he was Crown Prince of the Gallian Empire, right? But overall, he's too simple-minded to be a good main antagonist in a game like this. If he's a third party, if he's not on your side, but also not really on the other side, he can just appear whenever he wants. He can tip the scales to one or the other way, however he likes to do so. And I think for this, he's actually a very, very good character. So what they're doing right now, assuming that going forth, he will be this more or less neutral party that still is striving to some goal. Well, I mean, I guess he still wants his fight with us, right? But I'm not sure if he's gonna be like, we're gonna see that right now, I guess, if he is like, I need to get stronger, or we both need to get stronger to... Maybe he even enjoyed this art of this type of fighting where he actually helps us against another foe, and maybe he's like, I actually enjoyed this one more than I enjoyed the fight between us. So maybe I'll just appear again, you know, when there is another big force in the universe that you need to defeat. I like him as like this rogue neutral character.
Stronger than any I have faced. Against you, I need bring my all to bear.
I really doubt that we're gonna fight right now. Maybe we are, but we're probably not gonna see it if we do, and it's just gonna be a pat or whatever in the end. Or he's gonna lose and swear to get strong or whatever.
I need burn through the candle of my life. This is the sole pleasure I know. And it is the sole pleasure I have to share. And so I come before you to issue challenge and offer singular bliss. If you wish to walk away, I will not stop you. You value life. You do not burn yours save for reasons you deem worthy. Reasons such as those which brought you here. The salvation of a world and its people. The motives of a hero true. But there is more to you than that. You know this to be true. As surely as you know the thrill of pushing your body and soul to their limits. Of confronting ever mightier foes, dancing ever closer to the precipice, wondering if this will be the one to finally fill the void.
It's actually kind of true, right? With the player, with raiding and stuff.
Such pleasures you seek for their own sake, and no other reason. Is this not so, adventurer?
I actually do. I play this game for the challenge, for defeating raid encounters, savage encounters. And with every savage encounter bet, every stronger encounter bet, you have the short feeling of achievement, and then you're on to the next one, right? So in my case, yeah, actually, I am. You're absolutely right. That I can't deny. We're not gonna throw down right now, are we?
Acceptance at long last. The conflagration of our clash will scorch even the stars.
Or will it just blend away to the credits once we charge at each other? Defeat Zenus! Are you kidding me? Really? Oh my god! I didn't expect this at all. Let's get into it. Reaper versus Reaper, come on! Oh, I'm so looking forward to this. Oh, the fighting is so good. I'm looking forward to this. Seems we're not so different than initially thought anyways, right? Oh god, yes! 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 Oh, this is so good! Zenus' soul is ablaze with passion. The space comes to life with dynamism as the spirit burns in kind. Your soul burns bright and your power swells. Fighting with dynamism shaped by the memory of your journey and exceeding your own limits. Our skills seem to be the same as usual. We can still do. Oh, no ether currents nearby. Oh, alright. Storm of blood. Let's go.
Nothing back. Push yourself to your limit and me to mine.
Oops, that was a little stupid.
Ha! Still fighting you, I see.
Okay, don't want to stand in there for Judgment Bolt. He doesn't have positionals, right? Okay. Don't have to worry about those, but I do have to worry about my death's design. Come on, what are you doing? I sure want to stay in there for Hellfire, though. He's going down really quickly. Ah, it's probably gonna have multiple phases, right? That's not gonna be everything. So good. Oh, that actually hurt a lot.
Soon you will know the full extent of my power.
Oops, that was the wrong button. I'm enjoying myself.
Mine for the taking.
Whoa! Holy crap. Okay, maybe it's gonna be harder than I thought it would be. Or do we have multiple lives? Each time we die, we lose one of the stacks. Probably. What happened?
Test of your reflexes.
Okay, whatever.
A test of your reflexes.
Please tell me there's another phase to this. That cannot be it. Ooh, I got this. Ouch. Oh, okay. And that's okay.
A test
Wait,
of
what?
your reflexes.
Oh, was there a look away? Didn't see that.
Of your reflexes.
Come on, phase 2. Did I run back in? No, okay, I didn't. Come on, show me you can do more than that, Xenos. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, like, give it to me. Wait, what?
Ah, my soul.
Come on, give it to me.
How it burns.
Limit break. There we go. Ooh, ouch. Oh yeah.
I know you feel it too.
I do.
Inferno swelling within you.
This is so much fun.
Come, let all creation be consumed by our ravenous fervor. I have you.
Ouch! Ouch! Stop it! Unlimited.
Do not tell me your life's fire is already spent.
There we go. Lost one life.
Yes, yes! Rise once more! It mustn't end yet!
Whoa! Holy crap! Storm of blood.
I have you!
This is so cool. This was so worth doing all of this as a Reaper. Are we both gonna? Are we gonna fight 5 times? Are we both gonna die 5 times? There's another 5 times.
Show me your vaunted fortitude.
Ouch. That hurt.
Mine for the taking. I have you.
You think so?
Mine for the taking.
Not sure we can dodge that one, to be honest. Because it sure doesn't seem so.
A test of your reflexes.
Alright, come on. Next phase, once more! That cannot be it.
No, not yet. Not until the last of me is spent.
Yeah, show me your power!
Now fall.
I do want to do a limit break.
This is my moment! Our moment!
Yeah, why not use fists though? Okay. Oh, this is so good. Hey, the training with... I guess the training with Lee's actually paid off. Oh, that was it? Oh, that was so much fun. I didn't say duty completed yet, though. Don't die. I want to fight you again in the future. Come on. You become stronger, I become stronger, we do it again.
That I should lose again.
You really did? You really thought you'd be winning?
How disappointing.
Ah, come on. Wouldn't you have thought it more disappointing if you actually bet me? If I wouldn't live up to expectations?
Never have I understood those around me. Understood their obsessions.
Because you had your own.
Besieged by their banality, the world is a mire of tedium and trivialities.
It's the nature of an obsession that you cannot comprehend anything but your obsession.
But in these fleeting moments, there is a spark, blinding, brilliant. Gone too soon. What of you, my mirror? Born into this world, bestowed name, bid to seek out strife and adventure. Was this life a gift or a burden? Did you find fulfillment?
Don't you die on me. Don't you die on me. Ah, there we go. Thanks, Meteon, I guess. Could have dropped it in our hand, though. Oh, we don't even need to. Oh, just leave Xenos there, really? Oh, come on. Maybe he'll be back. Oh, that was so good.
Can you hear? Safe.
And we nearly died.
Must tend to
Even in my version of Endwalker, we would have, more or less, Azam would have died.
open your. Please.
Is it Graham?
Someone, and
Yeah, okay, it's all of them.
Please.
Off you know. I see.
you can't leave us. Not like this.
I'm still there, don't worry.
If you do, I'll never forgive you. So come on, open your eyes and get up.
Are you with us? Oh, thank the heavens. For a moment we thought...
Come on. Is everyone alright? How do you dare being concerned
After what
about
you've
me?
You're the last person to be asking that. You... How can you keep your promise if you're not here?
Another fine show you've put on, my friend.
A fine show indeed. What were you thinking? Fighting alone? Never do that again. My poor heart couldn't bear it.
Put yourself in our place. If you hadn't returned, how do you think we would feel? And if that sounds harsh, it's because we care.
We tended to thy wounds as best we could. But how is the pain?
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It does hurt a lot, though.
That is gladdening. Grievous as thine injuries were, however, I would counsel repose for a time.
Gladdening! There's nothing gladdening about this. When Meteon appeared in here and told us that you were right behind her, we all got our hopes up. But you never came.
Oh, sorry, I
When
got...
you finally deigned to appear,
Wait,
you're
Meteon
within
is here?
the ilm of your life.
Well, sorry, I had
Damn
something...
you.
Some score to
Damn
settle.
you for making us worry.
You know, I gotta have some fun once in a while as well, right?
Celebration. Anyway, well, the important thing is that you're all alive and in reasonably good health, and we mean to get you back that way. As for your earlier request, I'm quite certain we're in range to make contact now.
Ah, excellent. Let us announce our return at once. I hope you're ready.
Suddenly louder again.
While you were unconscious, we set out from Ultima Thule, you see.
How long have I been unconscious?
Can you stand?
8 carrots?
So you may wish to see what's outside.
Are we already back?
We're home, my friend. We're home.
We're just flying around all of Aldenard for everyone to see, just for the joy of it, I guess. It's gonna be so cool to go wherever we want with that thing. Merosidia, New World. Or the stars. We haven't seen you all expansion. Where have you been? Come on, Yukiri. Rie Tanaka? I think I know that name. Oh yeah, they don't know how many of us will be coming back, right? Probably. Oh, those two seem to be getting it on. You know, the dock receptionist and the Valdesian Annex receptionist. I saw that.
It's the Ragnarok. They're back.
We did it, don't worry.
Thank heavens.
Truly.
Welcome home.
You still don't know who is on board, right? It might be that everybody's dead, except for the Loporids or whatever. Why do you know where we're gonna land? And why are you racing?
Welcome home!
We cannot hear you, Tataru, sorry. Wait for us to get off the ship, okay? Oh, it can actually swim. Okay. Credits? Yeah, okay. Alright, so I was pretty disappointed so far in Endwalker. Not in Endwalker as a expansion as such, but in Endwalker as a wrapping up of all of the story of the last 10 years. They made a lot of strange design decisions, and some of them I still don't really understand. But first of all, if I just take Endwalker as an expansion in itself, not as the end of a 10-year-long old story, not as a continuation of everything we've done and all of the lore dump we had in Shadowbringers, not as a means of needing to meet the expectations that have been built up over all of these expansions and the pre-expansion hype through all of the player influx that came from World of Warcraft and other games as well. It is fantastic. It's absolutely phenomenal. I'm actually surprised as to how many of the things I would love them to do in this final stretch they actually did. They took away all of our friends, they had us walk the end, literally, alone. This is our story, this is my story, me as the Warrior of Light. I am the one who has to finish this. With our 7 companions, of course, as usual. So it really reverted quite some of my expectations in the end to the good side. There have been some parts in the expansion where I felt they hit the brakes a little too much. A lot of that, of course, was just from game design play, right? Because you had to get a certain amount of experience to be able to get to the next level and to the next area and stuff like that. I only felt that in Alpis, where I was pushed to the limit of right to the point where it was like, okay, if it drags on a little longer, it's gonna be a little boring. But just at that point, Vinar came in, and we actually. The moment happened when we told everyone, which was awesome. So they did not quite strain my patience there too much, and that's the point. Of course, in all of the expansions before, this happened as well, right? It's not as if this was only only this expansion's only Endwalker's flaw. There were moments in Shadowbringers as well. The whole thing with the trolley in Amarang, I was so bored of that. I know other people like that, I didn't. Just felt like a stretch that was just necessary to get the XP or whatever, right? Most of the leveling areas, especially Garlemald, are the best I've ever seen in this game and any other MMORPG as a leveling experience, as a leveling area. Labyrinthos was a little meh, because we were just like, you know, doing chores. But I mean, you always had those areas in all of the expansions, I would say. Fafnir was actually very good, but just at the wrong point of the expansion. Mare Lamentorum, I would have removed the part with the Loporits. It was a very interesting part, but it just felt very strange at this particular moment in the story to have this strange inspection of that moonship. I would have put that either at the end of the expansion or even probably even in a patch, to be honest. But overall, comparing the leveling experience, the leveling areas, the story, and the duties at the end of the game, this takes the cake above Heavensward. And I would say also above Shadowbringers. Very, very narrowly, especially since this is just a 0.0 patch, right? I mean, we won't get another 3.3, we won't get another Final Steps of Faith, right? But just that fight with Xenos in the end, I really didn't expect it to come. I was hoping for it to come, but I didn't expect it. Because it's just the usual pattern, you know, the last trial is the last trial and then it's over. I was so glad they did it. I was so glad they ended this expansion with a solo duty. That was so good. And this is what pushes it over the edge to, in my opinion, be better than Heavensward. But I would still rank Shadowbringers higher than Endwalker overall. Two main reasons. First of all, Shadowbringers had the far stronger characters. Nobody in Endwalker comes close to Emet-Selch, Oddbird, and even War 3. Just hands down. No chance. I was really missing any of those, and actually in parts of the story, especially after Fandaniel died, there's basically no antagonist left, in my opinion. They completely wasted the potential of Fushino as a kind of antagonist, kind of a neutral antagonist, and just nothing comes close to the wits and the fun we had with Emet-Selch as an antagonist, and that moment when you always knew Emet-Selch was gonna betray us, Emet-Selch would just do his thing, but still that moment when he did, where you were just like blown out of the waters anyways. And then that one moment, Oddbird handing us his axe, with Emet-Selch being there, and the revelation about us having been so close to Emet-Selch in the past, being as him and everything. Just the gravity of character and world bending of Shadowbringers, I overall enjoy more than what Endwalker does well in terms of an expansion. The second reason, because it was a much more cohesive experience. I think Endwalker is actually really fragmented, which made it really strange to play through, because you have this first climax in Garlemald, right? And it feels more like a mini expansion that started in 5.4, came to an end on level 83, like the arc of Fandaniel and his towers, right? And then you have this culminating fight against Zodiark, of course, and everything. And that just feels like the end of a small expansion in itself. And then afterwards, actual Endwalker begins. And I think this is a really confusing thing they've done. It's just too much of a cut in between. They basically reset all of the drive that the story had in this moment and started anew and just started building up anew up to this actual climax, this actual culmination of the expansion, right? That was one of the design decisions that I didn't fully understand. Yeah, so just because of the cohesive experience that Shadowbringers is, that journey you go on, especially with Reen and Thancred, and all of the character interaction that you have in Shadowbringers, it's just such a character-driven, strong expansion, while Endwalker really is just story-driven, right? Characters aren't as important anymore. Y'shtola, Thancred, Urianger basically don't have any role to play at all, while in Shadowbringers they were much more integrated in all of the story, especially Thancred, of course, with his chemistry with Reen, and Y'shtola with Children of the Dark. Sorry, I don't know the English names of what I had. I don't even remember the German name, to be honest, but yeah. And Urianger with his connection with the Pixies and everything, they just had much more of an impact than they did in Endwalker, I think. It was more focused on the twins, which is fine, but it just wasn't what Shadowbringers are as an overall experience with the characters. And the biggest flaw I think Endwalker had, and now we're getting to my criticism again, this one hasn't changed, is the lack of looming dread. Yeah, this is Endwalker, this is the final days, the end of days, this is the apocalypse. But basically at no point in the whole expansion, except for that one moment where you're not inside your own body and Xenos actually takes over your body, which was horrifying and gross, and oh my god, it was so good. And here in the end, where you're walking the end, literally, like, right? That's basically the only two moments in all of Endwalker where I felt something could go awfully wrong in terms of us not being able to triumph, right? But overall, there was just always something that took out the stakes. First of all, let's focus on the first part with Fandaniel and his towers. I have no idea what the thing with Anima was. I guess they just had Anima as like a red herring for us, to think that it was more important than it was in the end, and then probably were like, psych, it isn't really important at all. Anima wasn't even a trial, it was just a boss in a dungeon. I mean, okay, I guess you can do it, but I don't really understand it overall. The far graver point though is that the towers in the end didn't have any impact on anything. As far as I understood the story, I mean, it might be that I just missed something, but I don't think I did. They were basically gathering ether and sending it over to the palace in Garlemald, right? And there, part of it went just into basically the summoning of Anima and strengthening Anima, and the other part I think was to collect ether for the particle cannon, the laser cannon or whatever he built, which he built to destroy the seals of Zodiark's prison. So far so good, but it actually turned out that there was no sense to them at all, because he actually didn't gather enough ether to break all of the seals of Zodiark's prison, right? So you're basically like, oh yeah, we did it, we stopped him from his plan. And then he's just like, I guess we just have to teleport up there and destroy it ourselves. And then they teleport up there and destroy it themselves. So, what was the meaning of the towers? You didn't even need it, because you just showed us you can just teleport up there and destroy all of the seals with Xenos easily. And no, the Watcher wouldn't have done anything about it, because as you saw, he was much slower in repairing the seals than they were in destroying any seals of them when they actually were there. And he didn't lift a single finger to stop Xenos from destroying the last seal of Zodiark's prison. And they also didn't need the ether from the towers to use the teleporter to get to the moon, because at this point all of the ether was already spent, because if it was not, you would have just powered the laser cannon for long, right? So what was the point in that laser cannon from the beginning? There just wasn't one, and in that, there was no point in having the towers. So why? Especially because it would have been very easy to give impact to these towers by just having them actually enacting the final days, like maybe not the real ones. Fandaniel always knew why the final days were happening. He knew about Dynamis. He knew about Zodiark's stopping the flood of Dynamis, stopping the flow of the celestial ether, I think it was, right? I think it's absolutely possible that he would have found a way to disrupt the celestial ether currents himself, thus being the turrets. So I would have had turrets actually simulating, like enacting those final days, and then I would have had the zone of Thufnir play out before we actually go to the moon, and it would have been a much stronger emotional zone, because at this point we wouldn't have known about the moon and about the Loporoids then, and the stakes would be very high, because oh my god, this is the final days. We don't have any means of escaping except for, you know, defeating all the enemies, and it would have been a sense of dread, a sense of despair that I was missing throughout all the expansion. I thought this would be a fight till the end. This would be a fight against despair throughout all of Endwalker until the end, but it absolutely wasn't, unfortunately. And then after that, Fandaniel would just be like, I mean, it would have still been his plan, of course, to release Zodiark, because he wants us to, you know, see the actual final days, not just the ones that he would be faking on us, so to say. But we would, of course, think now that when we defeat him and we stop the towers, that we would basically have stopped the final days, right? So he would probably be like, oh no, you bested my plans and now I have to escape to the moon or whatever. And then he would basically make it seem as if he wanted to now only control Zodiark so that they can defeat us in another way or whatever. Basically lure us into defeating Zodiark, as he's done anyways. And then after we actually defeat Zodiark, he would be like, haha, now we do actually have the final days now, it's our own fault and everything. And then I would skip the episode with the Loporids, because again, it takes out the drive of everything, because at this point we're just like, oh my god, we actually just enacted the actual final days. And us coming to the right conclusion of, oh, we need to talk to Hydaelyn, we can't talk to Elidibus. So instead of just having all of this slowing down with the Loporids and being all funny about how they get all of our needs wrong. Also, if we don't have the episode with the Loporids, it wouldn't have revealed what the Shoreline Forum is all about, right? They would still have this mystery of their sacred duty and everything. They revealed that much too early, in my opinion, and it also made Fushino such a weak character, because suddenly we actually know more than him. His mystery, his big secret isn't a secret to us at all. We actually know more than him. We actually can laugh at him because he doesn't know that he's working with small bunny boys and girls, right? And the worst part about the thing with the Loporids is that we now know, no matter what happens, we can just escape to the moon and get away to another star. It takes away all of that feeling of despair and dread that you get from the actual final days. Because you always know, well, if we fail to avert it, we just go to the moon and then we fly wherever we want. So instead of all this, I would just go, after defeating Zodiark, I would have gone directly to the episode in Elpis. I think having Meteon to be the culprit of the first final days and the second final days, if you see it in the scope of all of Final Fantasy XIV, including Back to A Realm Reborn, is very lazy. You just introduce a third party on level 87 of 90 levels in the last 20 hours of a 10-year-long story. You introduce a new party and say, oh yeah, they're the culprit of all. As I said, in the means of just the expansion of Endwalker, it's no problem. You can do that. It's done well enough. But if you see Endwalker as the last chapter of this whole story, that's just too convenient. You just say, oh yeah, here we have something else. They have always been the culprit. And Hermes isn't really the same as Fandaniel to me. Hermes is also, in my opinion, a different person, more or less. Which was also solidified when we saw Asahi taking him away in the end, right? It basically solidified that Fandaniel, aka Asahi, Fandaniel in the body of Asahi, is basically a different person than Fandaniel / Hermes / Amon back in the days. So I also don't see him as someone who would have been established for longer. Although I did like what they did with her in the end. It's really, I mean, that was really cute and everything. At this point, we would still not know about the moonship and what the actual sacred duty of the Shalayan Forum would be, right? So we would basically more or less break into Labyrinthos, and instead of having all of these boring chores that we did back then, we'd basically have a covert operation to get to the center of Labyrinthos and find out what it's actually all about and everything. We of course would be knowing that they have conversed with Hydaelyn, and then instead of them just giving us the spaceship that they want for the Great Exodus, we would basically be breaking into the facility and then maybe find the spaceship and be like, what the hell is going on? And then at this point, finally, probably Purshino or someone else of the Shalayan Forum would be telling us a story about the moon being a spaceship, the moon being in an arc, and the story about the Loperids, and that they built this facility right on top of the Ethereal Sea because they would need the power of the Mother Crystal as fuel for their spaceship to be ferrying all of the people from Ethereus to the moon as a mean of escape, right? And that they could not allow us to endanger this mission of theirs, right? So they would basically do everything they could to stop us. But we, of course, would somehow prevail and get into the Ethereal Sea. Then basically the same stuff would happen that just happened right now at the end of the actual game, right? Actually, we wouldn't even have to make up with the Shalayan Forum and Fulshino yet. We could have this drag on a little into the patch content. And Alphino, maybe, Alphino and LSA, instead of having the wholesome reunion of the family that we had, just be like, this was our way. We did walk it. We did achieve something that you never thought was possible, but we did it. No matter what you think of us, we hold our own or whatever. There would not always have been this immediate sense of, yeah, if it goes wrong, we just escape. Because we wouldn't have known about the moon being an arc. Until the very point where we know that we do need to render this plan unfeasible. So just through restructuring these events and doing some things differently, there would have just been much more of the sense of looming doom everywhere. And that's what I expected so much of Endwalker as the last chapter of this story. And it's the point where I'm most disappointed in Endwalker. And being much more wholesome than I expected it to be, it never really felt threatening. The only real moment that felt threatening was the one moment where Zenus and Fandaniel robbed us of our body. And then they immediately destroyed this moment right afterwards, because I was just like, oh, this could play a huge role in the rest of the expansion, right? But it didn't, because right after Fandaniel dies and Zenus basically stops being an antagonist, and the mind checking technology just isn't mentioned at all again. Also, that one part in the end, I felt it was so unnecessary when Y'shtola said, you can call us back with the power of S. I mean, the moment she said that, it was clear that they were coming back, even when she said, but don't use us. I mean, come on. As if we wouldn't. From that moment on, it was actually clear. Even though I did falter a little in the end, where I was just like, maybe we actually don't. She doesn't just say it like that. It's not just some, low-level quest designer, dialogue designer that goes in and says, oh yeah, let's just put that in. I mean, this must have been a very high-level decision, a deliberate decision from the design team, maybe just being like, come on, we cannot pull everybody down that hard, right? Like, I could see, like, Yoshi, P, and the others being like, come on, let's not make it too depressing of an expansion. Because it didn't really feel fake, right? It felt forced, yes, but it didn't feel fake. They never really made it look as if they would be gone for good. Here it was really just, don't mess us up, or we will actually be dead, but so far, see you later. It was more of a feeling like that, so it was okay how they did it. It was okay. Yeah, so in the end, I did come to terms with it. They did a very well job in the end. It's still hitting hard emotionally. Overall, it's a very fun, very entertaining, phenomenal experience. And of course, the fight with Zenus in the end, really, that was... I do need some applause. I really didn't think they would pull it around with just the last 2 levels. It does actually feel pretty satisfactory to me, having played through it. Well done. But yeah, I like Shadowbringers more. That's just my honest opinion. Ah, the Warrior of Light. Thank you. That's very cute, having us in the credits. Thank you, Square Enix.
Dearest mother, dearest father, this letter will be the very last that I write to you from the rising stones. As I commit these words to parchment, I fondly recall my journey as a scion. From the time I first walked into the Order's former halls, to the time I set forth to forestall the final days. At the farthest reaches of the Sea of Stars, we fought the battle of our lives.
Well, you didn't as much of the fighting, but
fought against
you were there.
Despair itself.
You participated.
A veritable maelstrom of it, fed by the resignation that dwelled in the hearts of beings not so unlike ourselves. Full oft have I harbored the same malaise. Have I been brought to my knees, crushed by the weight of sorrow and defeat, convinced that I will never rise again. However, I have also known many moments of unbridled joy and happiness. By this truth do I find hope within, blooming resplendent, like the Elpis flower. And thus do I endure. Do I look forward to creating more memories with my friends and loved ones. For from these fertile seeds, yet more hope shall spring forth. And they will grow to become shining lights that illuminate the dark. Thus believing, I leave the rising stones behind, as will my comrades. For, as we have decided, after careful deliberation, we are disbanding the Scions of the Seventh Dawn.
There you are, Alphino. Everyone is already gathered in the foyer.
My apologies. I'll be right there.
Guess we're gonna form a new party of friends then, going forward into the next expansion.
At least, that is what the story will be.
Oh. Maybe not.
sorry to keep you all waiting.
What could you possibly have left to do now?
Writing a letter to Mama and Papa.
Oh, just a letter.
I imagine it will be a while before we can gather like this again.
So it must be, if we're to keep up appearances.
Don't forget, Y'shtola, you promised to find a way to traverse to the other shards. We do want to be able to reunite Thancred and Reen.
From now on, it falls to the Grand Company of Eorzea and its allies to deal with the realm's crises.
Meanwhile, we shall return to our erstwhile ways. Retreating from plain sight to take our place in the shadows once more.
Indeed. For the foreseeable future, I expect that we must work independently as we seek out problems that want for solving. But a day will come when we face another great challenge, and we will face it together, as we always have.
And you will finally have aged, get a new model, and be a fine young man.
As much as I look forward to that day, I do hope it doesn't come anytime soon.
Well, formal association or no, if any of you should require my services, you need but ask. I'll be glad to keep my lance arm honed.
I'll hold you to that. So you had better keep your link pearl on hand.
So you really mean to stay, Tataru?
Oh, someone has to keep the Rising Stones in proper order. And even a super-secret organization requires a super-secret base of operations.
Yeah, super secret. Everybody knows two Rising Stones, but okay, super secret. Sure.
To the rest of the world, it will be naught more than a workshop for Eorzea's foremost up-and-coming artisan. If you thought our coffers were full to bursting before, just wait till I can devote myself wholly to the crafts.
Well, you know, nowadays you don't really make that much money with crafting. Good old days of Realm Reborn, Heavensward, and Stormblood are over, unfortunately.
Empire to rival that of Lord Lodorito, are we?
I, for one, look forward to your future successes, Tataru, as do I our next meeting.
And with that, I believe it is past time you all made ready to depart. Leave no preparations undone or words unsaid, all right? Now, off with you.
I suppose we're off to Garlemald then. Though we ought to speak with Lord Emmerich first. If he's received word of any recent developments, we need to know.
'Twould be prudent to purchase some warmer clothes at least. Mayhap we can pick up a few souvenirs for Euless and the others while we're at it.
Kind of funny because it's the same scenery as of 5.3, where they were coming back and where we were having sweets and tea on the balcony.
Where will you all be heading next?
Dravania, there is a book I've been meaning to borrow from the Great Google Library.
Borrow.
And I can think of at least one person who will be most displeased should I fail to visit before leaving.
We've no particular destination in mind, but we do intend to stop in Sharlia before we set off.
We had thought to ask after the Loporrits. I am curious as to how well those who chose to remain are adapting to their changed circumstances.
Might we accompany you then? Raha and I were planning to return to the Baldessian Annex.
Commissions have been piling up in our absence, and they must be dealt with ere we begin our work in earnest.
Estinian, you will return to Radz at Han, will you not?
Mm-hmm. That's what he said.
Aye. For Vritra's benefit, though I've yet to hear the details. I may not stay long.
I see. Then it is here the Scions at last part ways, each to some far-flung corner of the realm.
Ew, that kind of gets me a little nauseous. Motion sickness.
Perhaps. But I believe one of our number, a rather important one at that, has yet to divulge her plans.
I'm just gonna go wherever the winds take me.
Quite right.
Indeed.
Fair point.
So, what's next for our humble adventurer?
It's a secret. Well, Thank you. Thank you. May we meet again. Yet stand tall, my friend, our journey will never end. Alright. That was it. That was our journey of me, Gilganos, an 8 years long player of Final Fantasy XIV. Been playing since the beta of A Realm Reborn. I haven't once stopped paying my subscription, as far as I remember. 3,030 days of subscription for myself and counting. That is over $1,000 just in subscription alone. I've also played 2 weeks of 1.0, but yeah, you know, it was 1.0, so our journey through the main scenario quests of Final Fantasy XIV Online Endwalker patch 6.0. We will be back, of course, for the main scenario quests of the patch content. We will be back for the normal mode of the raid. But so far, that's it for me. Everyone watching this, thank you so much for coming on this journey with me. I appreciate it a lot. It really was one of a kind. It always is. Final Fantasy XIV never really fails to deliver. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to join me as well, of course, in my journey on the future updates of this game, please consider, you know, following my channel on YouTube. I would love to have you with me again in the future. And I hope that you also got to like our little Maiden of Light, our Warrior of Light, Yomi Tanchi. I think she did a marvelous job. Thanks for everything. You might want to bow towards the camera and not wherever you don't need to repeat, damn it. I hate G-pose. Just do it once, not more than once. Well, okay. Have a nice week. Stay healthy. Don't forget to always GG. Please don't do it offensively. Until next time. Oh, Elpis.
The constancy of this place never ceases to amaze me. An ocean of souls, shimmering and eternal. And yet, something stirs.
New phone, who dat?
Yes.
Elidibus.
Steeped in darkness,
Elidibus.
deep as starless night.
Of course,
The
Elidibus.
beast hungers. Alas, I dare not investigate in earnest before the coming of my guiding star, as she foretold. We shall descend to the depths, you and I, to confront the dread beast Pandemonium.
Pandemonium is actually gonna take place in the past. Wow, I didn't expect that. That's really cool, though.
Ah, the sights we shall see. The sights we shall see.